Hey guys, and welcome on into another episode of Getting Well with Terry and Friends, free NHL picks. I'm Terry, ready to break down today's NHL slate. We have 5 games on the slate today, but some pretty good games for a smaller slate. So we will jump into that too. Jump into the chat here. Velarde and Boldy, anytime goal today. I'm already in 141 for 1,442. Best of luck. We'll be discussing obviously, both of those games coming up shortly. Gus in net for Minnesota. He's on fire. Yes, 6-1 in his last 7 games. A 1.26 goals against average and a 954 save percentage. Um, he and like Matt Boldy, two completely different players under John Hines than they looked when Dean Evason was coach. So completely different players. Gus. Yes, we'll be talking about him and the Wild very shortly. We will jump into a recap of what happened on Saturday's show, starting with the first game here between the Canucks and the Wild. Obviously, the Wild won, minus 112 in the shootout. Matt Boldy, anytime goal, unfortunately did not cash. Casey DeSmith had never lost to Minnesota previously. He has, for some reason, really, really good numbers against the Wild. So he was able to keep Boldy off the score sheet, but the Wild got the win there in that one. New Jersey, Columbus didn't play this game, stayed off. So Pittsburgh, Toronto, the draw. Um, we'll discuss Pittsburgh here in a little bit, but they got their asses absolutely handed to them by Toronto Maple Leafs, who had no Austin Matthews in the lineup, but it did not matter. No draw, no close game. It was a massacre by the Toronto Maple Leafs. So unfortunately, the draw did not cash there. This Flyers team, I don't know what to say about them except I underestimated them, and I'm not doing that anymore. This was a winner against the Detroit Red Wings. I was going to say no sweat, but 1-0, and there was a bit of a sweat there at the end, but a nice win there overall. Colorado, Winnipeg Jets. I took the Jets as an underdog. Another winner there. Cale Makar announced out just before game time, but I think even if he had played, the Jets took care of business here in this one. A winner there. Same kind of deal with the Toronto game. The draw was both these teams going overtime a lot, but not on Saturday. It was uh, Montreal stormed out to a lead. The Islanders tried to come back, but unfortunately, were not able to win. I skipped most of the rest of the slate, no single plays. And then this one here, Tampa Bay Lightning. This Tampa Bay frustrates me because for the first 2 periods, I guess you could say, I think, um, they looked like a team that didn't care, that was just skating around. They just did not look like they had any care in them whatsoever. Played really well in the third period, so it acted like they got a talking to from Cooper, but um, Calgary was able to get the win there. Sharon Govich and Zari both had goals, and both have extended their point and goal streaks. So two winners there. Um, so two winners, one loser in that game. Overall, a profitable game there with two plus money winners. I will bring up the first game, bring up the background, and we'll be discussing the Minnesota Wild and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let me jump into the chat here. Mr. Edelman, dot, dot, dot. Hello, Mr. Earl. Kevin on Twitter says, morning, Terry. Morning, Kevin. Hope things are going well. But looking at this game here, Minnesota minus 105 to plus 102. Pittsburgh minus 111 to minus 115. Sixes right across the board here in this game. I already said how amazing Philip Gustafson has been lately. And of course, he's starting in this game. A lot of people were kind of thinking, oh, maybe Marc-Andre Fleury would get this game against Pittsburgh. But Fleury will start tomorrow against Boston. Fleury has, I guess, mentioned to the coaching staff and has let it be known that he doesn't really enjoy facing Pittsburgh. So I know a lot of fans want to see Fleury play in this game, but he doesn't really enjoy facing Pittsburgh, especially as a visitor. So that could be a reason here. Another reason is, as I said, Gustafson has been absolutely phenomenal um, since just before John Hines took over, but especially since Hines took over. Nedeljkovic will be in net for Pittsburgh. Overall, he's played pretty well. Did give up 3 goals on 21 shots after coming in, replacing Tristan Jarry against the Leafs. But he'll be back out here for this one. And looking at previous history between these two teams, Pittsburgh has done very well against Minnesota. I believe 8-2 in the last 10 meetings. Minnesota did win. I don't know if it was last year or the year before in Pittsburgh. There was a shootout winner by Freddie Gaudreau. I remember that game. But overall, Pittsburgh has had a lot of success against Minnesota. And looking at this game, Pittsburgh did just get embarrassed in Toronto. So I think Crosby really has the team motivated for this game. I think the Penguins come out to play, but even if the Pittsburgh Penguins give their best effort in this game, I think the Wild still win. I locked them in for plus 110. Of course, now we're seeing plus 102, minus 105. The reason for that is Nedeljkovic is a net for Pittsburgh. And as soon as that was announced, the lines moved. Boldy anytime goal was plus 240. Of course, now it's around plus 210, I believe, at FanDuel. Didn't score in his last game, but he does have a goal in 5 of his last 7 games. And then also for Minnesota, Joel Eriksson. He's got 3 shots on goal in 12 straight games, and he's got 4 or more shots on goal in 5 of his last 6 games and 8 of his last 12. So Joel Eriksson, if you want to ladder his shots on goal prop, over 2.5 would be a parlay piece, but you could get over 3.5 at plus money. He's done that in 5 of his last 6 games. He's shot the puck a lot. Obviously on the top line with Boldy and Kaprizov. So that's who I'd be looking at is Boldy for a goal and Joel Eriksson for shots. Easiest pass on the board. Interesting. Okay. Can't get this Pens team right. Got to be Pens or nothing after getting embarrassed. Absolutely embarrassed, right? Lean draw. No, it doesn't have to be Pens or nothing. I don't really agree with that. Yeah, they got embarrassed, and yeah, they're going to be motivated to play this game. That just makes me feel like it's going to be a closer game. So you could potentially look at the draw, but this Wild team, Philip Gustav, the Wild are just on fire right now. I can't get in front of them. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Captain Brian. But we'll move on along to our second game here, which is between the Anaheim Ducks and the Detroit Red Wings here. Anaheim plus 190 to plus 206. Detroit minus 225 to minus 250. 6.5s right across the board here in this game. Looking at goaltenders here, Ville Husso is confirmed for Detroit. 9-5-2, 3.47 goals against average, 895 save percentage. Gibson was not feeling well halfway through yesterday's game. He had to leave. Lucas Dostal came in. So Lucas Dostal is unconfirmed. Similar numbers to Husso, 3.93 goals against average, 887 save percentage. So both goaltenders giving up at least 3.5 to 4 goals a game. Both below 900 save percentages. So it would be a lean towards the over here for me in this one, but I'm completely passing here. Dylan Larkin will be back in the lineup for the Detroit Red Wings, which is a huge addition for them. The Ducks are on the second night of a back-to-back here. I just don't know what to expect from Larkin in his first game back. I could see this game being 6-1 Detroit. But I could also see the Ducks somehow winning 2-1 or 3-2. So overall, Nick says that the Wild game was the easiest pass on the board. I disagree. I think this game is the easiest pass on the slate today. Ducks are nothing. Wings shouldn't be this big of a favorite. Maybe Ducks team total over 2.5. Yeah, I can't lay the price with the Red Wings, but I wouldn't look at the Ducks here. Larkin back in, yeah, I think that has um, a huge impact for Detroit, but not going to play it. Ducks plus 1.5 could potentially look that way. A minus 117, a pretty good price. A pretty good price for that if you think it'll be a close game between these two teams. They looked good yesterday. Detroit looked like dogs on Saturday versus the Flyers. Yeah, yeah. Um, Moving on along to our next game here, which is between the Montreal Canadiens and the Winnipeg Jets. Montreal plus 200 to plus 217. Winnipeg minus 244 to minus 250. Sixes right across the board here in this game. Looking at goaltenders here for this one, Connor Hellebuck confirmed for Winnipeg. 15, 6 and 1, 2.41 goals against average, 917 save percentage. After starting the season not the best, after a subpar start to the season, he has been extremely consistent. Um, he's allowed 2 or fewer goals in 10 straight games. And this Winnipeg Jets team has just been consistent in not allowing many goals here. Winnipeg 6-1 in their last 7 games. They've won 5 of their last 6 games by multiple goals. They've allowed 2 or fewer goals in 6 straight games. The Jets 14-5 in their last 19 games. They gave up 3 or fewer goals in their last 19 games straight. They've given up 3 or fewer goals. The Jets have just been on fire lately. And Steven mentioned it earlier. He said Boldy goal and Velarde goal. Well, guess what? I'm here on it as well. I'm on Velarde anytime goal plus 200, and also Winnipeg Jets minus 1.5 plus 117. Winnipeg is taking care of opponents, winning games by multiple goals. I wouldn't be surprised to see this game finish 4-1 Winnipeg. That would not surprise me whatsoever. Velarde on the top line for the Winnipeg Jets. He has a goal in 3 of his last 4 games. Nikolaj Ehlers has an assist in 6 of his last 7 games. Mark Scheifele has a point in 6 of his last 8 games. So I would look at that top line for the Winnipeg Jets. And without Kyle Connor, it hasn't hurt them so far. Velarde has stepped in perfectly on that line. So give me Velarde goal. Give me the Jets minus 1.5 in this one. This is the first of a 7-game road trip for Montreal. They play here in Winnipeg. And then on Thursday, the Montreal Canadiens go and face the team that they never, ever want to face. And that's the Minnesota Wild, who's absolutely dominated for years, which we'll get to on Thursday. We'll get to it on Thursday. Or Detroit team total over 3.5. Yeah, you could look that way if you think it'll be a higher scoring game. It should be. I do think it would be higher scoring. Every single win, one of Detroit's wins, they've scored at least 4 goals. Interesting. Under 6, lean Winnipeg team total under 3.5. Ooh, okay. This game should be a 5.5. Yeah, it's total because of how good Hellebuck and the Jets defense has been. Let's go. Yes. Let's go Velarde. Let's go Boldy. My 2 goal scoring props of the day. So I like it. Moving on along to our next game here, which is between and no Montreal props for me because with how Winnipeg's playing, I don't want to take any props from Montreal whatsoever. So looking at this game, Seattle Kraken, Dallas Stars. Seattle plus 155 to plus 160. Dallas minus 176 to minus 192. Sixes right across the board here in this game. Scott Wedgwood will be in net for Dallas as Ottinger is week to week. So Apparently, the week to week is a good sign because it looked like it could possibly be even longer. But week to week for Wedgwood, um, the Stars have recalled Matt Murray, um, who I forgot in last week's show, or on Saturday's show, I forgot the name, but yeah, Matt Murray, not the Matt Murray you're thinking about, the Dallas Stars Matt Murray, will be backing up here. Wedgwood 6-1-2, 3.24 goals against average, 904 save percentage. Nobody confirmed yet for Seattle, but most likely Joey Decord, 5-5-7, 2.57 goals against average, 908 save percentage, with Grubauer being injured here in this one. And this game's tough. This game's tough for me. Joey Decord has played pretty well for Seattle. And if for some reason it's not Decord, and if they go to their third goalie, who I will be completely honest, I have no idea who that is, off the top of my head. But I'm looking at this total of a 6 and thinking this number is a bit low, because if you look at the Dallas Stars lately, they have been soaring over 6.5 in their games. So I'm tempted here on the over 6. No single plays for me. Parlay pieces here. Um, it's really the big defenseman for both teams. Vince Dunn, he's got an assist in 4 of his last 5 for the Seattle Kraken, and Miro Heiskanen has a point in 5 of his last 6 for the Dallas Stars. So I'd be looking at both teams' best offensive defensemen for points in this one. No single plays. Lean with the over. I do think we get goals here. Um, and at this price, kind of lean towards Seattle, but I don't know. I don't know. Lean Kraken and draw. Yeah, I can see that. Favorite shots on goal for Wild besides Joel Eriksson, Boldy, Kaprizov. Thanks. Um, really, it's Joel Eriksson. When it comes to shots, I'm not a shots on goal guy for the most part, but there are players. Ack, obviously Kucherov, Forsberg was really good for a while. Really, I'm just looking for guys on streaks, and right now, Joel Eriksson, that's about it for shots on goal. A Dallas goal in first 10 and first period over 9-game streak. Interesting. Yeah, with the way we've seen goals between, I wouldn't talk you off either of those. The way Dallas has been playing lately. Playoffs revenge game. Dallas in regulation. Ooh, that's interesting. That is interesting because yeah, it will be a revenge game here, but not one of my favorite games. Going on along to the fifth and final game of the night, which is between the Florida Panthers and the Calgary Flames. Florida minus 119 and minus 125. Calgary plus 100 to plus 108. 6.5 for the most part. I do see a 6 available at Pinnacle if you're looking at the total here in this one. When it comes to goalies in this game, Jacob Markstrom is making his return to the net for the Calgary Flames. 6-8-2, 2.94 goals against average, 896 save percentage. He had a fractured finger, but he will be making his return to the net for Calgary. And Florida drafted Jacob Markstrom, so there's that kind of interesting tidbit there. But I don't know if that still affects him to this day. If he looks at it as a revenge factor or anything like that, I don't think so. But Sergei Bobrovsky unconfirmed for Florida, so no one confirmed there. I don't quite trust this Flames team. Obviously, beating Tampa Bay kind of burned me, but this Flames team, when I don't really count on them to win games, I don't really trust them to win games. But you have to play these two guys. The way they've been playing for the Calgary Flames, the fact that they're both plus money just to get a point is kind of crazy. Igor Sharangovich, he's got a point in 6 straight games and a goal in 5 straight games for the Flames. Connor Zary, he has a point in 6 of his last 7 games for Calgary. And someone else who I don't have listed on here, I probably could have tried to find a way to squeeze him in, but Blake Coleman, he's got a point in 6 straight games for the Flames, plus 125 to get a point. So 3 really hot players for the Flames right now, and all plus money to get a point. So a goal or an assist. I would definitely look at all 3. I'm going to add Coleman. And then there's Noah Hannafin, who's got an assist in 4 of his last 5 games. So this Flames offense is on fire right now. Looking for Florida, Reinhart, a point in 6 of his last 8. Barkov, a point in 4 of his last 6. Obviously, both of those players, 2 games where they didn't get a point, and that's the 2 games that Florida was shut out in. So I don't see Florida getting shut out in this game. So I look at both of those guys to get points, but it's mostly the Flames players, all plus money. Great value to get points here in this one. Panthers money line too short. All right. I don't have any bets on the side. Just give me goals, mostly Flames goals. But that is it. That is today's show. Thank you everyone for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button. Big slate of games tomorrow. I've already started to take a look at tomorrow, and there's a few games I really like, and there's a total I really like tomorrow as well. So make sure to tune into that. Best of luck to everybody in today's slate. We'll see you in tomorrow's show. Best of luck, everyone.